the chief of police. The
Okay,
chief of police. It's not, and he did. He did. He provoked him by filing a federal lawsuit against the town of Campbell for an ordinance for pedestrians walk across the bridge and holding up signs and the constitutional aspect of that. So yes, there probably is a provocation there.
What if there was provoking outside of the legal road?
Okay, all right. So by that reasoning, and it's very possible that was the case. It's very possible that Greg Luce was driving by the chief of police's house and mooning him on a regular basis. And I have no doubt that those are real possibilities. Is there ever a situation where the chief of police it's reasonable for the chief of police to anonymously utilizing his work computer to attack a private citizen by harassing him online? Was there ever a situation where that makes sense to you?
If you've been provoked beyond the point of thinking clearly, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Is Greg Luce not capable of provoking somebody like crazy?
Yeah, it's not somebody, Mark. It's the chief of police, guy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here. He's the chief of police. It's a dude that we give him a gun and a badge and put him in charge of other officers and tell him, go enforce the laws and go keep the peace and keep us safe. And he's the one that's attacking private citizens. It's a little bit different, don't you think?
Yeah, he's a human, though. You can't just go and provoke people like over and over and over again.
Yeah,
I don't care where you're.
I hear what you're saying. And I would, and I believe that there in certain cases you provoke people, and you're right. They lose their minds a little bit, and they're going to punch you. I agree with that, except that we expect more out of a chief of police. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's how we give them the ability to enforce laws the way that we do. We give them power. We give them authority. We give them badges. We give them guns. In return, we expect them to not only abide by the law, because that's the very minimum, but uphold the law and keep the peace and uphold the freaking Constitution. It's not just another guy. We'll go to, what is this, Mitch from Sparta. Thanks for waiting. Go ahead, you're on.
Hi, Mitch. Hey. I've been listening to this conversation for an hour. It's a good conversation. You said something at the beginning of this whole conversation I thought that was very insightful. And that this is a juvenile prank. And it's not like this guy was stealing dope out of the evidence room. It's not like he's beating up somebody with a baton behind the barn.
Yep, right.
It's not like he pulled a gun on somebody. He made a stupid, asinine, unforgivable, whatever kind of mistake you want to call it. But I don't know if it deserves to ruin his career. I mean, I think the guy's going to be, I think he'll learn a lesson, and I think he'll be a stronger cop. Should he be a chief again? I'm not so sure. I mean, the judgment is questionable, but he didn't, it didn't really harm, I mean, yes, he harmed somebody, but he didn't put somebody's life in danger.
Yeah, I
guess the point is, Mitch, there's a difference between, is it excusable? No, his behavior is not excusable. Is it forgivable? I kind of think it's forgivable.
Yeah, I can see that argument. Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me that wants to forgive a lot of different behaviors. There honestly is, and honestly, the baton thing and the stealing the drugs out of the evidence room is a great example, because obviously there's been a situation here regarding that, and I'm almost more willing to forgive that. But I mean, maybe.
Mitch, it's going to be the apology. When this guy, like you said, he doesn't have a clue that he did something wrong.
Yeah, at this point,
he realizes that he should issue an apology, be sincere about it, and do something to demonstrate that he's really remorseful. Then maybe we should think about it. Yeah,
I'll agree with that. What I'd like to see is him understand that what he did was ethically wrong. I mean, I'd like to see him have a grasp of ethics, because that's to me, especially the chief of police. I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. And going down the road of forgiveness, obviously, I'm not sure that they're there yet. But understanding what you've done is wrong, ethically wrong, I think is essential to not just being an officer of the law, but being the chief of police. Tony, thanks for waiting. Go ahead, you're on.
Oh, hello,
Hi.
Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Town of Campbell resident, and I have also participated in the overpasses for Obama's impeachment. I went down to the Town of Campbell to challenge their sign ordinance, and I wanted to have a sign larger than 1 foot by 2 foot that said that Campbell Town Hall hates free speech. Mm-hmm. And Chadwick Hawkins absolutely went livid and screamed at me, and I had recorded this event, and they found out that I recorded it, and just a few days later, I had a group of masked individuals show up at my front door, ringing my doorbell, trying to record me.
Wow, that's
and I
fantastic.
filed a police report with the Town of Campbell. Now I understand why nothing's been done with it, because guess what happened here today?
I think that maybe that police report disappeared.
No, I think so.
Yeah.
And we've had events after that with people pounding on our walls, pounding on our door.
Oh, jeez.
And so this, you put one and one together, what do you get?
Yeah.
Something suspicious is going on down there.
Yeah, it's it's dangerous to go down the road of speculation in that way, but certainly it's hard to say that. It's hard to look at those situations and go, well, yeah, you probably. Yeah, I know what you're saying. All right, well, look, I appreciate the call. We got to get to the newsroom. We're a little bit late. Rick Solom just jogged back there, so we're going to have to head to the newsroom sooner rather than later. But more of your calls are welcome. 608-785-7914. Again, especially if you're in the town of Campbell, love to hear from you. I don't know what to tell you, and I don't know how you can feel at this point, but it's very clear that when I say that it's very clear to me. All right. So universally, objectively, maybe not. Maybe not. You can also drive by my house and throw a brick through the window. Oh no, you don't do that because that would be something that if you were like a bad police chief, you'd do that. Never mind. I'm going to get myself in trouble, aren't I? 608-785-7914, 785-7914. Going through the police report once again, this investigation into the Town of Campbell Police Chief Tim Keleman. I don't know. I got an email message a little while ago asking if there would be charges filed against the police chief. I have nothing. I got nothing. Don't know. I mean, it's maybe not. Maybe no charges filed. I don't know if he's going to continue to work in the town of Campbell. I don't know any of that. I don't know. But we're just seeing this today. But it is certainly, if I was in the town of Campbell, if I lived in the town of Campbell, going to the town of Campbell is something that I might not do actually for a while. But, shocking, right? But if I lived in the town of Campbell, I think that I might have questions regarding the police force that is supposed to be upholding the laws. If, in fact, the police chief in the town of Campbell is utilizing his work computer to go to great lengths to harass online and anonymously a private citizen for any reason. Somebody asked before if is it possible that Greg Lewis provoked him. Doesn't matter. Don't care. I don't care. Doesn't matter. You know what? To whom much is given, much is expected. And, yeah, officers of the law, got to put up with all kinds of stuff that you and I could never put up with in their daily job. There's only so many times you can hose the vomit out from the back of your squad car before you start looking for another profession, like on the loading dock at UPS, because it's disgusting. There's only so many times that, you are standing by when there's beaten and bloodied people, drunken fools, and you're pulling them off each other on 3rd Street. There's only so much you can handle of that. Granted. But I don't know at what level it's reasonable to say that a private citizen provoked me to the point where I thought it was okay to get back at him. And again, not my words, but the words of Police Chief Tim Keleman. Listen to this. And this is in some ways arrogance, and in some ways perhaps just ignorance of what he had done.
I mean, I don't know what information I stole from him. You know, if you go on like a website and that's sign somebody up for like a email newsletter or something like that, you know, it's just annoying where we had to go into our things and have to keep deleting all of these things that we're getting signed up for. I'm like, all right, buddy, you know, you're causing us a hassle, we're going to cause you a hassle, you know.
I honestly, I have to admit, I don't know what the background of what he's talking about people signing them up for stuff. I don't know what that is. So that, again, going back to Mark's comment earlier about the provocation, maybe that's what he's talking about. If you're going to hassle us, we're going to hassle you. Those words should never come out of the mouth of a chief of police anywhere. Anywhere. At any time, ever. 878-57914. We'll go to Main Street Guy. Thanks for waiting. Go ahead, you're on.
Yeah, the call in defense of the chief, calling it, saying he was provoked.
Could be provoked. Yep. Right. Yeah.
There's no. What's the provocation that Greg Luce is suing the town that he serves?
Clearly that's a provocation. Yes, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
don't think the guy understands what provocation is. This was so unprofessional. This is criminal. This is criminal.
It is criminal.
With all the new laws we have about harassment online, wire fraud,
stealing somebody's identity to pretend that you're that person online to
defame them.
Yeah, that's essentially what we're talking about.
And it's going to reach. If I had a friend who said something that another person didn't like, and he was subsequently signed up and received a ton of professional journals and magazine subscriptions, and started getting bills in the mail. Ah,
yes. Oh, the classic sign up for magazine subscription thing. Sure.
Right. So, I'll tell you what, once Greg starts getting bills for services or anything like that, then I think it does constitute wire fraud, and it may have before that as well. This is definitely criminal, and I think it has to go outside the purview of the town of Campbell. I don't know if it's a federal offense because it's internet or what, but I would say it needs to be pursued, Greg. Don't let it go.
And, obviously the police are involved in this. District attorney, not in La Crosse, but in Monroe County is involved in this. And then there's some other jurisdictions that are involved as well. So this has obviously been investigated at greater lengths. We'll see what happens with that, the criminal aspect of that. I don't know. And again, other options are open to Greg Luce if that doesn't pan out. Folks, I honestly... Greg Luce, how you feel about Greg Luce, Tea Party guy, who certainly, if nothing else, has made a name for himself by being, all right, if, who was it earlier, said Ron, I believe, said Greg Luce is a freedom fighter. Greg Luce, you may look at him that way. You may look at him as a Tea Party guy. You may look at him as, Eric earlier said whack noodle. Didn't call Greg Luce a whack noodle, but has been called that himself. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think of him. It doesn't matter who he is, what he does, how he acts. If he's breaking laws, he can be charged with crimes, arrested, cuffed, stuffed, whatever you want to do, that can be done. That's really not really an issue. What is an issue is that you don't, as a police chief, as a sworn officer of the law, and the chief of police, determining that you're going to go above the law or below the law, whatever you want to call it, and privately or attack a private citizen. You don't do that. And if you do that, have the sense to know that what you've done is ethically wrong. It's not somebody, Mark. It's the chief of police, guy. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying here. He's the chief of police. It's a dude that we give him a gun and a badge and put him in charge of other officers and tell him, go enforce the laws and go keep the peace and keep us safe. And he's the one that's attacking private citizens. It's a little bit different, don't you think?